সনাতনে স্মরণ যদি ভজন করবে রে। 122. Nitai Padha Kamala Koti Chandra Shushitala Nitai Padha Kamala Koti Chandra Echaya Jagata Joda Echaya Krishna Paitena Radha Krishna Śrīdhar Kore Dharani Tapa Śrīdhar Kore Dharani Tapa Shishambada Nahi Jita Jana Gelo Krishna. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Gaura Bhakta. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā, chapter 6. We're continuing from the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Text 68. Mukunda dhatala naila sarvabhauma stane sarvabhauma kichutanere balila vischane. Oh, sorry, that's wrong one, sorry. Text 78. Jai Gurudev ki jai. It's okay, no problem. Jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, Text 78. Bhattacharya tumi hara najana mahima bhagavata lakshnera inha ite shimha. My dear Bhattacharya, you do not know the greatness of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are found in him to the highest degree. Purport. Since the Bhattacharya was an impersonalist, he had no idea of the absolute truth beyond the impersonal effulgence. However, Gopinath Acharya informed him that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who know the absolute truth know it in three phases, as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vidanti tatatva vidas, tatvam jayanam adhyayam, brahmite paramatmite, bhagavanite sabdyayate. Those who are in knowledge of the non-dual absolute truth know very clearly what is Brahman, what is Paramatma, and what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sat Avishraya Purna, complete with 6 opulences. Gopinath Acharya emphasized that all those 6 opulences were completely existing in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 79. Tahite vikhyata inho parama ishvara anjna stane kichu nahi vijnera gochara. Gopinath Acharya continued, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is celebrated as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are ignorant in this connection find the conclusion of knowledgeable men very difficult to understand. Text 80. Shishaya gana kahe ishvara kaha kon pramane acharya kahe vinya mata ishvara lakshane. The disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya retaliated. By what evidence do you conclude that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord? Gopinath Acharya replied, the statements of the authorized acharyas who understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are proof. Purport. Since the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there have been many pseudo-incarnations in India who do not present authorized evidence. 500 years ago, the disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, being very learned scholars, were certainly right in asking Gopinath Acharya for evidence. If a person proposes that he himself is God, or that someone else is an incarnation of God, or God himself, he must cite evidence from Shastra to prove his claim. Thus, the request of the Bhattacharya disciples is quite bona fide. Unfortunately, at the present moment, it has become fashionable to present an incarnation of God without referring to the Shastras. Before an intelligent person accepts someone as an incarnation of God, however, he must ask about the evidence. When the disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya challenged Gopinath Acharya, he immediately replied correctly, "We must hear the statements of the great personalities in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Lord Krishna is established as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by statements from the authorized persons like Brahmā, Narada, Vyasadeva, Ashishta, Arjuna, and many others. Similarly, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is also established as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by evidence from the same personalities. This will be explained later. Text 81. Shishaya kahe Ishvara Tattva Sadi Anumane Acharya kahe Anumane Naha Ishvara Jane. The disciples of the Bhattacharya said, "We derive knowledge of the absolute truth by logic hypothesis." Gopinath Acharya replied, "One cannot attain real knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by such logical hypothesis and argument." Purport. The Mayavadi philosophers in particular make certain hypotheses about the absolute truth. They reason that in the material world we experience that everything is created. If we trace the history of anything, we find a creator. Therefore, there must be a creator of this huge cosmic manifestation. By such reasoning, they come to the conclusion that a higher power has created this cosmic manifestation. The Mayavadis do not accept that great power to be a person. Their brain cannot accommodate the fact that this huge cosmic manifestation can be created by a person. This is because as soon as they think of a person, they think of a person within the material world with limited potency. Sometimes the Mayavadi philosophers will accept Lord Krishna or Lord Rama as Bhagavan, but they think of the Lord as a person having a material body. The Mayavadis do not understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, has a spiritual body. They think of Krishna as a great personality, a human being, within whom there is the supreme and personal power, Brahman. Therefore, they finally conclude that the impersonal Brahman is the supreme, not the personality of Krishna. This is the basis of the Mayavadi philosophy. However, from the Shastra, we can understand that the Brahman effulgence is the bodily rays of Krishna. Yasya prabhato jagat andakuti kutsiv ashesha vasudha hadi vibhuti biman tad brahman nishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the primeval Lord, the effulgence of whose transcendental body is known as the Brahma-jyoti. That Brahma-jyoti, which is unlimited, unfathomed, and all-pervasive, is the cause of the creation and unlimited numbers of planets with varieties of climates and specific conditions of life. Brahma Samhita 540. Mayavadi philosophers study the Vedic literature, but they do not understand that the absolute truth in the last stage of realization is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, they do not accept the fact that there is a creator of the cosmic manifestation, but that is Anumana, hypothesis. The Mayavadi philosopher's logic is something like seeing smoke on a hill. When there is a forest fire on a hill, smoke is first of all visible. The smoke is created when there is fire, just as one can conclude that there is fire from smoke. The Mayavadi philosophers conclude that there must be a creator of the cosmic manifestation. The disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wanted evidence to show that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually the creator of the cosmic manifestation. Only then would they accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of creation. Gopinath Acharya replied that one could not understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by guesswork. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogmaya samvritaha madoyam nabi yanti lokamamayam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative potency, Yogamaya, and so the deluded world knows me not. Who am unborn and infallible, the Supreme Personality of Godhead reserves the right of not being exposed to non-devotees. He can only be understood by the bona fide devotees. Lord Krishna says elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. One can understand me only by the devotional process. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 55. In the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Bhakto si me shaka chiti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Here Lord Krishna informs Arjuna that he is disclosing the secrets of Bhagavad Gita to him because he is his devotee. Arjuna was not a sannyasi, nor was he a Vedantist or a Brahmana. He was, however, a devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is that we have to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti-Lata Beach. Madhya-līlā, chapter 19, 151. More evidence can be cited to show that without the mercy of a devotee or the mercy of Krishna, one cannot understand what is Krishna and what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in the next verse. Text 82. Anumana paramane nahi ishvara tattvajane kripa vina ishvare kehe nahi jane. Gopinath Acharya continued, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead only by his mercy, not by guesswork or hypothesis. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by exhibiting some mundane magic. Foolish people are enchanted by magical demonstrations, and when they see a few wonderful things done by mystical power, they accept a magician as the personality of Godhead, or an incarnation. This is not the way of realization, nor should one guess or speculate about an incarnation of God, or the personality of Godhead. One has to learn from the bona fide person, or from the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, as Arjuna did. By the mercy of Krishna, Krishna himself also gives many hints about his potencies as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead only through the evidence presented by the Shastra. and the Mahajans. In any case, one must have the mercy of the Lord in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service. I'm just going to read this last section and then we'll read Loving Search for the Lost Servant. Text 83. Ishvarera kripalesha hayata jahare sheta ishvara tattva janibare pare. The Acharya continued, if one receives but a tiny bit of the Lord's favour, by dint of devotional service, he can understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 84. Athapite deva padmabhuja dhaya prashadhaling leshanu ghite evehi janati tattvam bhagavan mohi mono nachanya ekho pichiram vichinvan. My Lord, if one is favoured by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. Okay, Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Vita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swāmī Prabhupada ki Jai. Krishna. Now we're reading Loving Search for the Lost Servant, Swāmī Bhakti Rakaside Gosvāmī Maharaj ki Jai. Okay, so I'm just going to continue from where the bookmarker is. Okay, so Krishna and Balaram. When Krishna and Balaram are playing with their friends in the jungle, they generally play in two groups. Krishna is in one group and Balarama is on another. Krishna is considered to be less strong than Balarama. Balarama was the strongest person there, and the next strongest was Śrīdhar. So Śrīdhar used to play on the side of Krishna. Whenever Balaram was defeated, he would become enraged. Krishna would diplomatically help his own team. And when Balarama saw that his own team was disloyal due to Krishna's tricks, he would turn to his younger brother, Krishna, and say, I shall punish you. But Krishna would say, no, you cannot punish me. Mother Yashoda has entrusted me in your care. You can't mistreat me. One day Balarama slapped Krishna, but Krishna went to Mother Yashoda and told on him. Balarama was very disturbed and said, I slap you once, and you complain to your mother that I do not love you. Krishna, how could you do this? At last Krishna was perplexed and accepted his defeat. So Kṛṣṇadāsa moves in a crooked way. Ahir iva ghati prema. This fundamental point, the foundation of our understanding about Kṛṣṇadāsa, has been given by Rupa Gosvāmī in this verse. He says, don't be eager to find reason everywhere in the pastimes of divinity. They are naturally crooked. In Kṛṣṇadāsa, we shall find that although no party is defective, still one will find fault with another and begin a quarrel. No defect can be found there, but still, for the necessity of Līlā, false defects are found, and some quarrels begin. This is the meaning of Līlā, pastimes. What we find here by necessity flows there automatically. We can't try to apply our reason, our standard of measurement, to the movements of the infinite. And whatever gain we have made by connecting with that flow of Līlā will be lost in our attempts to measure it. That will be the only consequence of our analysis. So we should try to have taste of Līlā with a submissive attitude. Sometimes reason, logic and analysis are necessary, but only to preach to the people in general who have a lower understanding. Only for the purpose of preaching to people addicted to reason do we have to take the help of reason. But when devotion becomes automatic, anuraga, then both reason and scripture are left in the subterranean position. There is no place for scriptural arguments there. Arguments there. To a certain extent, reason is necessary for our development up to Vaidhi Bhakti, the elementary stages of devotion. But above that, it has no use. Anuraga, bhajana, is automatic. That is the nature of Līlā. Ahir ivha gati prema. Everything there moves by his sweet will. Sweet will means that it is not fixed program. It moves in such a way that we can't say it will pass by this road. When the Maharaja of Mysore used to drive into town, he would not speak to his driver, giving him directions which way to go. Because if any fixed program were arranged, then his life might be in danger. So whenever he would come to a crossing in road, he would touch his stick to a particular shoulder of the driver. If at the crossing the Maharaja wanted to go to the right, he would touch the driver on the right shoulder. In this way, he would never disclose which way he would go, but only at the last moment he would beacon the driver to take a particular course. So Krishna's divine movements are kept in reserve by his sweet will, all rights reserved. We want to search for some law above his sweet will, but this is inconsistent. It is self-contradictory. On the one side, we say that Krishna moves by his own sweet will, but on another side, we try to find some law governing his movement. This is a contradiction. Līlā moves by sweet will. When we say it is Līlā, then we can't give any shape to that. We can say that it was shown in a particular place in a particular way, but we cannot be sure whether today the same course will be taken. This is why we find differences in the explanations given about different Līlas in different ages. Jiva Gosvāmī has explained that the reason for different descriptions on the pastimes of the Lord in the Puranas is because at one time that Līla was played in one way, and in another time it was played in another way. So we find differences even in the explanations of the same pastime. Scholars may challenge, why is it that somewhere in the Padma Purana the Līla is mentioned in this way, but the Bhagavad Purana reveals a description in another way? Why does Harivamsa differ from Mahabharata? We say that in different kalpas or ages the pastimes are enacted in different ways. In infinite ways, a particular Līla of the Lord may be represented within this world, because he is infinite, independent, and absolute. So leaving aside all doubts and suspicions, we shall be most generous in approaching the absolute free from all inhibitions. We shall approach him with the spirit, with that spirit, and try more and more to leave aside our past prejudices and precedents, the records of our past experience. Is God dead? We shall approach him remembering that he is still living. It is not a stereotyped thing. We should not expect only what was done once before. If we expect the same thing, it will only reassure us by its reputation that he is not a living thing, that divinity is under historical law. Should we think that in the past he showed himself in a particular way, so he is compelled to show himself in that way always? Is he not living today? Can he not show anything new? At every moment, every second, he can show everything in quite a new way. So our heart should be open wide, when we approach the highest authority of the absolute plane of play. That means surrender must be increased to no limit. Surrender is limitless, and his play or Līlā is also limitless. With that sort of deep vision, we shall try to read his Līlā. So although Brahmā and the other gods and gurus and the givers of many shastras may have given some description of his pastimes, we shall have to realize that Krishna's pastimes are not bound by their descriptions. Krishna is not confined within a cage. So for this reason, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu did not hesitate to give description of the bewilderment of Brahmā. Brahmā Vimohana Līlā. Brahmā was bewildered in Kṛṣṇadāsa in Vrindavana, and again when Brahmā went to have an interview with Krishna in Dwarka, we find the same condition. The boundary of the sweet will of the infinite is such that anything can be accommodated there. And then Lord Brahmā, the creator of the universe, can be perplexed by Krishna. All these pastimes are like so many lighthouses, showing us which way to go. Brahmā is our guru, but he was bewildered by Krishna. And Vedavyas, the universal guru, was also chastised by Narada. Narada was put to the test many times. All these examples are showing us the way. They are pointing out the direction. It is said, Shrutibhir Vimrigyam. The authentic books about the revealed truth are only showing the way. They say, go in this direction. Where? We do not know exactly. But you may go in this direction. They are only showing the direction. All the Shrutis, the guidance given by the scholars of the revealed truth, give some direction. Go this way, in this direction, and perhaps you may find it. Krishna says, Vidyascha savir aham eva vidyo. All the Vedas are intended to reveal me, the infinite. They mean to show how the infinite is moving. If I analyze one atom within my fist, I can analyze it again and again and reanalyze it to no end. It is already within my fist, and yet it is infinite. So it has been said that we may get the maximum benefit by surrendering. Krishna says, give up all your prejudices and limitations, draw from the limited world, and be open. Then it will be easy for the infinite to cast different shades of light on your soul and your knowing faculty and your plane of understanding. Cleanse your glass, the mirror of your heart. In connection with the infinite, you will find that everywhere there is center, nowhere circumference. But to realize this, you must try to live in eternity, in Vaikuntha. Kunta means measurement. Vaikuntha means no crookedness, no limit, no measure. That is Vaikuntha. When Krishna opened his mouth, Yashoda was astonished to find the entire universal creation. Yashoda was nonplussed. What do I see? The whole universe, the infinite, in the finite. At that moment she almost fainted. But then her cat cried aloud, and Krishna, as if he was very much afraid of that sound of the cat, caught hold of his mother out of fear. Then at once Yashoda's apprehension disappeared. She thought, "Oh no, he is my son. There is no representation of the infinite within him. He is my son." And she embraced him. When Brahmā took away the cowherd boys and calves, he thought that he had created some want in the Līlā, but he came to find it flowing just as it had been. Not even the least part of it had been disturbed. Krishna had expanded himself to become the calves and the cowherd boys. When Krishna himself took the form of all the calves and the cowherd boys, when the mothers felt in an infinite type of affection, so much so that they could not understand, but were rather entranced, thinking, "How beautiful these boys are!" And the cows were also mad to show their affection to those calves. When Brahmā thought, "Have those cowherd boys and calves that I have stolen come here stealthily to join him?" Again he went to see where he had hidden them. He saw, "No, the boys and the calves are where I kept them, and the calves in the caves of the mountain. They are there." Again he returned to where Krishna was and saw everything continuing as it had been. At that time Brahmā surrendered and was reassured. He spoke the following prayer: "Na midyate brava puse tadi dhambraya gunayat vamsa paripachala sanmukhaya vinyasriya kevala vritaiva shana vinu laksmasriya nirma pade pasupangaya." I offer my prayers unto you, O praiseworthy Lord, who are the child of the cowherd Nanda. Your complexion is the dark blue color of a thundercloud, and you are clad in silk garments that shine like lightning. Your charming face is adorned with gunamala ornaments, and your hair is decorated with a peacock feather. You look beautiful wearing a garland of the forest flowers, and that beauty is enhanced by the morsel of food in your left hand. You carry a buffalo horn and a stick for herding cows. Tucked beneath your left arm, you hold a flute and the other emblems. Your feet are soft as a lotus. That is the general meaning of this verse, the internal meaning of this verse. However, is this, O venerable one, we submit our prayers to you. Who are you? You are unseeable, unfeelable, unknown, unknowable. Your complexion is the color of black cloud, and therefore you are very difficult to see, but you can be seen because of your yellow garb. Yellow is Radharani's color, so only by the help of Krishna's potency can it be ascertained who he is. Tadit means lightning. By the help of the lightning we can see a black cloud at night. So although Krishna is unknown and unknowable, his potency can reveal him to us. Okay, so I will stop there and we'll continue tomorrow. Well, someone will. Okay. Jai, loving search for the lost servant. Ki Jai, Swāmī Bhakti Rakha Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Maharaj. Ki Jai. Jai Go Premanande. Prabhu, you want to sing Hariharaya Nama Krishna?
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudana.
Agiridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chanda.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chanda.
Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Jiva Gopala Bhatta Datsa Ramnata.
Jiva Gopala Bhatta
Jai Jai Goshair Kore Charana Bandana.
Jaya Gosai Kore Charana Bandana.
Janma Hoite Vignana Savishta Purana. Jai Jai Goshair Janmoy Tarudase. Asavara Padarenu Mora Pamchula. Radhira Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva. Janame Janame Mor Jaya Jai Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koila Vasa. Radha Krishna Nidalila Korila Prakasha. Anande Balo Hari Baja Vrindavana. Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Jamana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyasa. Hare Nama Sankirtana Kohe Narotamada. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Anitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Saprikasa Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Ki Jai Jai Yuspa Paraham Saprikachari Vaya Sutta Sima Bhakti Nimanacharan Maharaj Ki Jai Bhakti Sundar Gomdade Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai Śrīla Bhakti Rakak Siddhe Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai Sri Rupanu Guru Bhag Ki Jai Namacharya Śrīdhar Thakur Ki Jai Sa Prasada Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Sa Prasada Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Bhakti Vinashashī Nishingadev Ki Jai Bhakta Pala Maharaj Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Ganga Jamna Ji Ki Jai Grantara Śrīmad Bhagavatam Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta-vrinda Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai Jai Gaura Premanand
Hari Bol.